Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Top3Tech. So, my last video was the 6950 XT, and that was on sale. I'm trying to keep the trend of cards going on sale, and the 6600s non-XTs and the XTs have been had their prices cut pretty dramatically. So, today I bring you the AMD Radeon 6600, but this is the Gigabyte Eagle edition. I have tested the 6700 XT version. It wasn't too bad of a card. It performed pretty great, and the price was cheap, more cheaper than the other ones back then. So we're going to see what this card has to offer by looks and performance. So go ahead and tune in and check out the unboxing and the benchmarks. So this Gigabyte gaming did not come with the seal. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up, check out the contents inside. People do say that Gigabyte GPUs don't have the best components inside. So I'm not too sure about that, but let's see what comes inside this box. Open that up. So Gigabyte graphics cards quick guide. Just telling you a quick installation, how to unmount your GPU. It's one of these, and how to reinstall it. Good stuff like that in that nature. It's got the foam padding on top, and it looks like that's about it other than the GPU. Nothing underneath. So I guess the warranty's on that, and the quick guide is about it. As you can see, that's it. It's a light card, looks pretty small. Let's do a quick close-up and check it out. This is a triple fan card. It says Eagle on the top right, rise to the top on the center left, and then these small Gigabyte fans and the geometrical design make it stand apart. We have Eagle in blue, Gigabyte in white, and a heat vent to the right. We have Radeon printed in white, the 8-pin socket in the middle, and then the Gigabyte printed in white on the bottom right. This card does measure 282 millimeters in length. It should fit in most PC cases. It has two 1.4 display ports and two 2.1 HDMI slots. So we have a couple GPUs on hand. Let's compare them to the Eagle. It's kind of unfair because technically these are in completely different leagues, but these are the only ones I have. So this is a 6800 Sapphire Pulse, the non-XT. As you can see, it is a little shorter. If we're talking about lengthwise, so this GPU is good for smaller cases. It is a lot thinner, so, and it doesn't weigh as much. We also have an EVGA for the Win 3 Ultra 3070 Ti. I forgot to mention this has no RGB, no LEDs. I'm pretty sure this one doesn't either. It doesn't mention anything on the box about RGB 2.0 Fusion, whatever they, or Fusion 2.0 for the Gigabyte. That's their software that controls all the lights. So I don't think there's anything. But it says Eagle on there, which is pretty nice. This has the little red lines. That's nice as well. The EVGA does have this LED bar up here. It has the EVGA logo on the fans. You check them out. And it's got this little nice imprint design. So we're going into more expensive cards, so I expect them to have a lot more features as well. This has the little silver trim. These do light up, pre-installed with the ARGB fans. It is the Sapphire Nitro Plus Special Edition 6800 XT. This is my main card in my rig. And this is the Red Devil 6950 XT. These light up right here. It looks pretty nice. It's not too much of a touch. And then the difference on the card as well, they have the little cutouts over here instead of it just being a straight rectangular look pretty much for the most part. So kind of an unfair comparison to these cards. These have a little bit more features except for that pulse. But Again, this card is a lot cheaper, and it's gone down a lot in price too. So it's not too bad, but this is how they would look like if you vertically mount them. This is how most PC users would see their graphics card in their PC case. And then for the people that don't have a glass side panel, this card's pretty good because its features aren't too robust. But here's that Sapphire Pulse 6800 again. It has a little pulse design, which I really like. Right here it has Sapphire logo on the bottom left. On the little gray bracket, it says Radeon in red, and then it is 16-pin socket. So this little frame helps up here, helps reinforce the GPU so it doesn't bend or anything. The EVGA 3070 Ti does have this LED bar still right here on the front. It says PX1 right here. It is 16-pin socket as well. And it has this red line, which kind of makes it look like a AMD card more than an NVIDIA card. It has the heat screen right there, the heat vent, whatever you want to call it. And it's got little holes here to help reduce heat. And this also has a 3-pin header, so you can, and a 4-pin, so you can connect your GPU to the motherboard, so the lights are all in sync. The Sapphire Nitro Plus 6800 XT has a silver finish, which is really nice. It has this heat vent here as well. BIOS switch is on the card, so did I forget to mention these had BIOS switches as well? I'm so sorry. There's a BIOS switch here and there. It's because this Gigabyte Eagle does not have a BIOS switch, so completely crossed my head. And then it's 16-pin socket as well. Right here it lights up the Sapphire logo, and it looks pretty nice. You can't see it right now, but the 6950 XT has this silverish gunmetal. There you go. It's a gunmetal gray. It looks really nice. This Red Devil does light up. It has the BIOS switch right here on the left, and it does have it printed on what side is overclocked and what side is silent. It does help you out. I think the 3070 Ti is like that as well. Yeah, overclock and normal. There's no RGB right here, but there is on the side of it, and it's a nice little touch. It says Red Devil printed on the top right, Radeon on the bottom right, and then it is a 24-pin socket. So that's because it needs to be overclocked. So if you're ever looking for any of those cards, or just to see what the difference is when you spend $200, $240 on a 6600 versus what you get when you spend a little bit more, that's usually some subtle differences. Let's see how it looks in the PC case, you guys. We are going to be installing this GPU in the Lian Li Lanquo 2. It's a pretty big case. It can fit most cards, unless it's an XFX 6800 XT or above. But there'll probably be a lot of space in this. This GPU will fit most cases. But let's go ahead and plug it in and turn on the fans and see how it looks. So here I have it with just the white lights on. I usually like to keep the lights white in my PC case. It complements the black and white aesthetic I usually have in here. This does have blue highlights on it, so we'll probably try to see how it looks like with the blue lights. And so this is if I change everything to tealish blue. It almost looks similar to the white I did have it on, but as you can see, there is no RGB on this card, and the Gigabyte is a little dark, but it doesn't look too bad. But anyways, let's go ahead and go on to the benchmarks, and let's go ahead and test out this 6600 and see what it does. Before we get started with the benchmarks, I have to introduce the Top3Tech PC specs. I have an Asus X570 Tough Gaming Plus Wi-Fi motherboard. I have a Ryzen 7 5800X CPU. I have 32 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance 3200 MHz RAM. And of course, today we're going to be testing the Gigabyte Eagle AMD Radeon RX 6600 non-XT. It has 2491 MHz of boost clock, 2044 MHz of game clock, 1750 MHz of core clock. It is running on 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. It is on the RDNA2 architecture, and the minimum recommended PSU is a 500 watt PSU. Before we go ahead and go to the temps and benchmarks, I just want you guys to know that it is running on smart access memory, and the games that do have DLSS, it is enabled on quality. And then any more questions on how I test the games, go ahead and follow the link to this video above, how I do my benchmarks. But let's go ahead and go to the temps. let me go ahead and give you the final thoughts on this card. I got it for $240. It's currently at sale for $220. So that does make a little difference, but I'm just gonna say that at $240 is what we're gonna compare this card to, the rest of the cards. And if it goes down to $220, that's an even better deal. But everything I say as of now, just compared at the $240 price range. But at 1440p, this is about this averages about 60 frames per second at ultra. For the more demanding games, it's probably about 50 frames per second. If you go back and look at the charts, you don't have to, I'm telling you. At 1080p, this is 90 frames per second at ultra. That's what it averages. For the more demanding games, 70 frames per second-ish. And then obviously Cyberpunk is a little different. But all in all, that's what you get. For $220, that's pretty good. You can play, you'll have a cheaper monitor, it's a budget card, so everything will be a little cheaper, so it all goes together perfectly like that. The temps of this card were pretty great. It didn't get hot at all. I was surprised by that. And not only is it pretty cool, but it's quiet. Those don't usually go together too much, but it does. It's the eagle. It soars, I guess. And also, if you compare this to a 3060, yeah, the 3060 outperforms it, but the 3060 is also around $370. If it's gone down since the time of this video, then whatever price it is, but I'm sure it's not going to go down to this or even close. And they perform very similarly. At that price, I would definitely say hop on this or get a 6650 over that, but anyways, we're not talking about that. So I would recommend this card. There's not a lot of cons to it, I guess. No RGB, but at this price range, I don't really expect any RGB, so it's fine. The design's not too bad. I think they did put a little extra thought into it, so I can't really complain too much, but I'm just trying to give you guys some cons. And then the other con was that the Sapphire Pulse, I'm not sure if that card was an outlier or what, but that card performed pretty great compared to this. So maybe get that instead. Maybe that card was just a golden chip. Who knows? But either way, I appreciate helping you guys. I appreciate you guys helping me by watching this video. Hopefully I answered as much questions as I could. Hopefully I helped you with your purchase. Either way, thank you guys, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace. Thank you for watching another video from Top3 Entertainment. I hope you hit like and subscribe. Also, I'm going to have a recommended playlist, a recommended video right here, so make sure to click that as well. I appreciate you guys tuning in, whether it be to the Top3Tech, Top3 Gaming, or the Why Not Me podcast. You guys are dope. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And of course, let's grow this thing together. Peace. Peace. Peace.